今天的视频呢，我会承接上一个视频，会把整个国内外1到4月的 Part1 新题全部都串完，所以视频会比较长，大家可以先收藏保存。那么我们先来看第一个 reading，在这里再次嘱咐一下大家，就是我们旁边写的题型呢是方便老生做一个复习，那也就是说每一个题型可能会有不同的结构来去做应对。因为我们要满足评分标准的，像 coherence 包括 fluency， 所以对于一些新生可能不知道题型的呢，我觉得更多的去体会这背后的结构，包括语言的表达使用，这样在自己准备无论是新题还是熟练之前的老题的时候，可以做到灵活的应对。那我们就进入到主题，每一个题目跟之前一样，我会做一个停顿，大家可以先回答完之后，再来去看后面的高分参考。The first one, do you like reading? Yes, I do. I'm really into reading because it helps me unwind while also gaining new knowledge. I especially like how books can broaden my perspectives. Number 2, do you prefer to read on paper or on the screen? Well, if I were to choose, I would probably go with reading on paper. Physical books help me concentrate better and reduce my eye strain. Number 3, when do you need to read carefully and when not? I usually read carefully when the material is important, such as academic articles or study materials. However, when I'm reading news or social media posts, I tend to skim through them quickly. Number 4, do you prefer scanning or detail reading? Well, if I had to choose, I would probably prefer detail reading. I feel that reading carefully helps me understand the topic more deeply and remember the information better. Scanning can be useful, for finding specific details quickly, but it doesn't always provide a full understanding. 接下来的话题是 walking. Okay, number 1, do you walk a lot? Yeah, I walk quite often, probably several times a week. It's a simple way to stay active and clear my mind after a busy day. Number 2, did you often go outside to have a walk when you were a child? Yes, quite often. When I was a child, I used to spend a lot of time outdoors, either walking around the neighborhood or playing with my friends. It was a quite normal part of daily life back then. Number 3, why do people like to walk in parks? Well, I'm not quite sure, but from what I can see from the people around me, one reason is probably that parks provide a peaceful environment with fresh air and greenery. Another reason is that spending time in nature can help people relax and reduce stress. Number 4, where would you like to take a long walk if you had the chance? Well, if I had the chance, I would probably love to take a long walk by the seaside. The sound of the waves and the open view of the ocean would make the experience incredibly relaxing. Number 5, where did you go for a walk lately? Well, recently I went for a walk in the park near my home. The weather was quite pleasant that day, so it felt really refreshing to spend some time outdoors and get some fresh air. 好，接下来的新题是 typing. Number 1, do you prefer typing or handwriting? Well, if I were to choose, I would probably go with typing. It's much faster and more convenient, especially when editing documents. Handwriting can feel more personal, but it takes much longer. Number 2, do you type on desktop or laptop keyboard every day? Yeah, I do this almost every day. Since most of my work or study tasks are done digitally nowadays, and typing has naturally become a regular part of my daily routine. Number 3, when did you learn how to type on the keyboard? I first learned how to type when I was in middle school. We had computer classes where we practiced basic typing skills, and that was when I gradually became familiar with the keyboard. Number 4, how do you improve your typing? I think the best way to improve typing is through regular practice. The more frequently you type, the more familiar you become with the keyboard layout. 好，接下来的新题是 scenery. Number 1, do you like to take scenery pictures? Yeah, I really enjoy taking photos of beautiful landscapes. I feel it's a great way to capture special moments when traveling. Whenever I look back at those photos later, they often remind me of the experience and atmosphere of that place. Number two, what are the most beautiful sights you have seen while traveling? Well, one of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen was a sunset by the sea. The sky was filled with vibrant shades of orange, pink, and purple, and the colors were reflected on the water. The whole scene looked absolutely breathtaking. Number three, do you look out the window at the scenery when traveling by bus or car? Most of the time I do because it makes the journey more enjoyable. Watching the scenery pass by helps me relax and pass the time. Do you prefer the mountains over the sea? If I had to choose, I would probably go with the sea. I really enjoy the sound of the waves and the open view of the ocean, which makes the environment feel very relaxing. 好，接下来的新题是 building。That's one. Are there tall buildings near your home? Yeah, there are quite a few tall buildings near where I live. Most of them are modern apartment complexes and office towers, which are quite typical in large cities nowadays. Number two, do you take photos of buildings? Occasionally, I do, especially when I come across buildings with unique or creative designs. Some modern architecture can be really impressive, so I sometimes like capturing those details in photos. And number three, is there a building that you would like to visit? Well, I'm not completely sure yet, but I'd love to visit some renowned skyscrapers in major cities around the world. Many of them have observation decks where you can enjoy amazing panoramic views, which sounds like a great experience. 你刚才我在 famous 的这个地方我换成了 renowned 包括city views 我换成了全景panoramic views 有的时候可以尝试刻意去做一些更高级的 replacement 同义替换。Do you want to live in a tall building? Well, if I had to choose, I would probably live in a tall building. You know, high-rise apartments often offer better views and sometimes better security. In addition, they usually come with convenient facilities such as gyms or shared spaces. Okay, next one. 下一个新题是 childhood activities. Alright, the first one. What are your favorite activities? Well, you know, one of my favorite activities is reading. I enjoy it because it allows me to unwind while also learning new things. It's both entertaining and intellectually stimulating for me. Number two, what were your favorite activities when you were a child? You know, when I was a kid, I was really into playing outdoor games with my friends. You know, activities like riding bicycles or playing sports were part of my daily routine, and they made my childhood quite active and fun. Number three, did you prefer to do activities alone or with a group of people when you were a child? Well, if I had to choose, I'd probably go with group activities. You know, playing with friends was much more exciting and energetic. You know, it also gave me the chance to socialize and build friendships. Number four, are there any differences between the activities you liked when you were a child and those you like now? Yeah, there are quite a few differences. You know, when I was younger, I preferred physical activities such as outdoor games and sports. Nowadays, however, I tend to enjoy quieter hobbies like reading, which help me unwind and focus. 下一个新题是 views. The first one, do you like taking pictures of different views? Yeah, definitely, I do. Whenever I travel somewhere with beautiful scenery, I like taking photos of the landscape, and you know, it's a great way to preserve memories of the place I visit. Number two, do you prefer views in urban areas or rural areas? If I were to pick, I would probably go with rural areas. You know, natural landscapes such as mountains, forests, and lakes usually feel much more peaceful and relaxing compared to busy city environments. Number three, do you prefer views in your own country or in other countries? If I had to choose, I would probably say views in other countries. Exploring unfamiliar landscapes can be quite exciting because every place has its own unique scenery and atmosphere. Next one, have you seen an unforgettable view or scenery? Yeah, I once saw a breathtaking sunset near the ocean. The colors in the sky were incredibly vivid, and the reflection on the water made the whole view look absolutely stunning. So it's the moment I still remember clearly. OK， 下一个新题是 life stages. Alright, the first one. What did you often do with your friends in your childhood? I used to spend a lot of time playing outdoor games with my friends, especially after school. We often rode bicycles, played sports, or simply explored the neighborhood together. Next one. What do you think is the most important thing at the moment? Currently, I would say personal development is still the most important thing. Continuously, improving skills and gaining knowledge can create more opportunities in both career and life. Next one, do you have any plans for the next 5 years? Well, I'm not completely sure yet, but from what I can see so far, I plan to continue improving my skills and building a stable career. Hopefully, I will also gain more experience and broaden my horizons during that time. Number 4, how do people remember each stage of their lives? Well, I think people usually remember different life stages through meaningful experiences. Important events, relationships, and personal achievements often leave lasting memories. Number 3, do you enjoy being the age you are now? Yes, I do. I feel that this stage of the life offers many opportunities for learning and personal growth, so it's quite an exciting time. At what age do you think people are the happiest? Well, I think happiness depends more on personal circumstances than age itself. However, many people see happiest when they feel satisfied with their relationships, achievements, and overall quality of life. 接下来的新题 Day off. The first one, when was the last time you had a few days off? Honestly, it feels like it's been a while, but I think the last time I had a proper break was about a month ago. I managed to squeeze in a long weekend and headed to the coast with a couple of friends. It was exactly what the doctor ordered, just a chance to unwind, soak up some sun, and get a change of scenery. Next one, what do you usually do when you have days off? Well, it really depends on my energy levels, to be honest. Sometimes if I'm feeling wiped out from work, I would just embrace being a couch potato, binge watch a few sceneries or get lost in a good book. Other times, if I'm feeling more adventurous, I will make a point of exploring the city, trying out a new cafe, or catching up with friends I haven't seen in ages. So it's a bit of a mix, a balance between recharging my batteries and feeding my curiosity. Number 3, do you usually spend your days off with your parents or with your friends? Most of the time, I have to say, I tend to hang out with my friends on my days off, mainly because we've got similar schedules and we are always planning things together, like grabbing a bite or catching a movie. But there are also times when I make a point of spending quality time with my parents, especially if I haven't seen them for a while or if there is a family gathering. Next one, what would you like to do if you had a day off tomorrow? That's a nice thought. If I had a day off tomorrow, I'd probably sleep in until I naturally wake up. No alarms, no stress. Then I'd love to head to a farmer's market, grab some fresh ingredients, and spend the afternoon cooking a nice meal while listening to music. It's the simple thing, really. Just a day with no agenda and no pressure. That would be my perfect idea of a day off. 最后一个话题 dreams. The first one, can you remember the dreams you had? Well, it's hit or miss. To be honest, some mornings I wake up and the dreams are still incredibly vivid, mostly like it really happened. But within a few hours, it just evaporates. Other times, if it's particularly bizarre or emotional, it tends to stick with me for most of the day. I guess it depends on how deeply I was sleeping or what stage of the sleeping cycle I woke up during. Number 2, do you share your dreams with others? Only if they are really funny or downright weird. I mean, I wouldn't want to bore someone with the mundane detail of a random dream, but if something stands out, like a dream that felt so real, it was almost unsettling, I might bring it up over breakfast or share it with a close friend just to get their take on it. That said, I try not to overdo it because, let's face it, other people's dreams are really as fascinating to listen to as they are to experience. Number 3, do you think dreams have special meanings? Well, that's a tricky one. I'm a bit of a skeptic, so I tend not to read too much into them. I know some people swear about dream dictionaries, or I think dreams are a window into the subconscious. But for me, they often feel more like a random replay of the day's events or just my brain processing emotions. However, I wouldn't completely rule it out. There are times when I'm dreamed about something and it's made me reflect on an issue I've been ignoring. So maybe they are not entirely meaningless. Last one, do you want to make your dreams come true? Well, it depends on what kinds of dreams we are talking about. If we mean literal dreams, I have a night, like flying or something, then no, I'm perfectly happy living those in my sleep. But if we are talking about life ambitions or aspirations, then absolutely, I'm a firm believer in turning visions into reality. In fact, I think one of the most fulfilling things in life is looking back and realizing you've actually achieved something you once only dreamed of. 好，能看到这儿的宝子们，我觉得都是真爱了，因为内容还是蛮多的。所以在跟练的这些环节，大家也可以不断的去做重复的训练，尤其在考前2-3周的时候，训练的频率一定是非常高的。当然了，我们最后如果说大家发现自己的训练还是比较低效，或者说不知道这些结构，包括语言的表达怎么着能够到比较高的分数的话，大家也可以来链接我们非常棒的团队，我们定期会有训练营，包括1对1。好，那我们的视频就到这里了，下期再见，拜拜。